Hi, this is Monica Fable of Acupuncture with Monica. And today I want to talk about standard solutions and what happens when they don't work. So for example, I am working with a patient who's vegan and anemic. So the standard solution from the point of view of Western medicine for her anemia would be this person needs to start eating meat. Now I know there is no way, pretty much, people can always surprise you, but there's pretty much no way this person is going to start eating meat to work with their anemia. So in my practice, it's very essential to me that I start where people are and I work with what they're willing to do. Back in 2008, I was working with an author and nutritionist and Chinese medicine practitioner named Paul Pitchford, and I did a 3-week immersion with him and learned all these wonderful techniques for helping people solve their chronic health issues using food as a medicine. And the most important thing that I learned from that immersion time was when Paul Pitchford said that if you offer someone a solution that they are not willing to implement or that they can't implement, that they're overwhelmed by, you have failed them. So I'm going to say that again. If you give someone a solution that they can't or won't implement, you have offered them nothing. So if I were to tell this vegan patient, you need to start eating meat, knowing that she is not willing or interested in eating meat, I've basically failed her. I've said, you have to eat meat, you're not willing to eat meat, which basically means you're screwed. If the standard solution won't work, and I've given her no other option, I've given her nothing. So it's very important to me in my practice that I really learn to listen to people and identify what they're willing to do or not do. So I said to this person, and she also told me she doesn't like beets, so she's not willing to eat beets. So she's already eating dark leafy greens. So I said to her, I'm wondering how much iron you're actually getting from those greens. Would you be willing to keep a food journal, figure out how much you're actually eating, and then we can take a look at how much iron you're actually getting into your system? So she said yes. So she was willing to do that. She came back the next week and she said, oh, I realize I'm not actually eating as much as I think I'm eating. So having the data helped us identify a clear path forward to try to start solving this problem of anemia. So I just want to emphasize again that sometimes there are standard solutions that just won't work for the person that you're helping. And this could just be applied to your daily life. Maybe you have a friend or a family member, they have a problem, and you think, oh, if they would just do this, they'd be fine. But there's something often that's holding them back from wanting to do that, or from being ready to do that, or from being willing to do that. So only by really listening to people and to what their concerns and values are you going to be able to really figure out how to help them. And you're going to figure out how to get creative and figure out where they are and what they're willing to do. So in my practice, when I work with patients around lifestyle, I always say, would you be interested in blank? Would you be willing to try this? And we work together to find something that feels doable to them. Because if I offer them something that's completely in conflict with their values or their needs, or they're like, oh, I can't eat all that meat because I'm worried about the environment. I can't eat all that meat because I don't have a farmer's market near me and I'm not willing to eat meat with hormones. I can't eat all that meat because it sounds disgusting. You have to start where people are. So that is my offering to you for the day. So the next time you have a friend or a family member or someone you love who's struggling, try to sit with them and work with them and figure out where they're really at. And if they want advice, and you can check in and say, would you like some advice or feedback? If they want that, You can say, what about this? Does that interest you? Would you be interested or willing to try that? And see where they are and really make space for them to share their heart so that you can start with where they are in that moment. If you'd like more information about my practice, you can click below on my website, and I'd love to be in touch with you.